Greetings, sophomores. The purpose of this presentation is to prepare you for registration and to take you through the registration process. You should have a package, a course request package that includes the following things: a course catalog, transcripts, course request worksheets, any department flyers. The online course request process is open now online. I'll show you how to do that later. Remember that course requests must be submitted by the deadline, which is in a few weeks. Overall, it takes 240 credits to graduate from Granada High School. 5 credits are earned for each course that you pass. If you get a 60% or better or a D-, that passes the class and gets you credit. However, you need to know that college classes require at least a 70% in order to meet their prerequisites. A full-time student takes 4 classes per trimester. That gets you, if you think of it, 240 divided by 4 years is 60. Divided by each trimester is 20, so that would be 5 credits per class is 4 classes per trimester is 20 credits. That'll keep you on track for graduation. It is slightly more complicated than just 240 credits. You do need credits in specific places. So for example, you need like 4 years of English. I'm not going to go all the way through the screen, but if you need to understand more about it, check your course catalog, which will go into the requirements in more detail. Overall, 240 credits and everything in these particular areas equals GHS graduation, and that will be a happy day. Here are Granada High's departments, all of which have sort of various levels of requirements, both for graduation and for college. CTE, Career Technical Education, deals with things like sort of auto, kind of very hands-on technical things, computers as well. English classes you know about. English learners, if you're working on English as a second language. Mathematics classes, PE classes, science classes. Social science would be like, for you guys, world history next year, for most of you. Special education classes. We have visual and performing arts classes, which would be things like art or drama. World languages, right, studying another language. ROP programs are not available to sophomores yet, but your junior year, you'll have those available to you, and those would give you chances to have sort of real world experience in an occupation that you might be interested in. Something like, say, nursing or internet design. And then there's various non-departmental courses. Those would be things like leadership, for example. Okay, so let's think about what you're kind of going to be looking forward to your sophomore year. In social science, most of you are going to take world history. However, you do have some other options. For example, you have honors world history or AP European history. This is the only AP class available to sophomores, and good chance to start if you're thinking about taking AP classes. Good chance to get working on those. If you take AP Euro, then we would recommend Seminar to prepare you for the AP test. In English, most of you are going to take English 10A and English 10B. However, some of you might take Honors English to sort of prepare, to gain expertise in English and perhaps to prepare for things like IB or AP English your junior and senior year. How to determine if you want to take an honors or an AP class. If you have a high interest in social science or English, like if you love those subjects, if you love to read, if you're a very strong writer, if you are ready to challenge yourself with a more rigorous schedule, these are very, very demanding classes. If you have done well previously in social science and or English, and if you're not sure whether this is kind of right for you, then talk to your current social science or English teacher, and they can give you some honest feedback as to whether that would be a good placement for you. English proficiency is something else to consider. If you earned a C- or better in your most recent English course, choose proficient during course registration. I'll show you this later, but if you earned a D or an F, then you need to choose English Workshop, and C- or better means proficient. English Workshop is a class intended to help students sort of get back to grade level in English and fill in some gaps. Note that this won't be the final determinant of you being in class. The English department uses a thing called the Literacy Proficiency Index to determine whether or not you end up in workshop or not, but this helps us sort of get planning early. For math, so the requirements here. The GHS graduation requirement is at least 20 credits, and you need to get through at least Algebra 1. However, if you are looking to go on to college, then you need to have at least 3 years, and 4 is recommended. Certainly, Granada recommends that students take math every single year. And so, which math class should you take next? Well, it depends. It depends on what you're finishing now. Many of you will be finishing up sort of Algebra 1, and so geometry is a kind of logical next step. But there are other options. So ask your current math teacher for a recommendation for next year and review the courses in the math course section of your catalog. For science, know that there are two sort of areas of requirement for science. So one is that you need to complete a life science, and really everybody who completes their life science completes it through biology. Some of you are taking biology, and so then you should move on to a physical science. If you've completed biology your freshman year, then chemistry would be recommended your sophomore year, though there are some other options, things like conceptual physics or physics as well, to clear out physical science. Check with your current science teacher for advice on what you should take next year. Yeah, those are physical sciences. For PE, students must pass the PE fitnessgram freshman year for PE 1A and 1B. If not, you're going to continue taking PE, move on into PE 2A and 2B until the fitnessgram's passed. Every student needs those credits. Students participating in any CIF sports might be exempt from 1 trimester of sophomore PE per sport if they meet exemption requirements. And those requirements include all of these. You need to have passed the fitnessgram. You need to have completed PE A and B with a grade of B or better. You need to have an overall GPA of 2.0. You need to be a full-time student, and you need to complete a contract. So see our athletic director for more information. But really, for most of you, you're going to be taking PE 2A and 2B during your sophomore year. If you're playing a sport, GHS coaches strongly recommend that students playing a school sport enroll in human performance for at least the trimester before their sport. This is primarily focused on strength training and is a good way to prepare and get stronger for the season of your sport. Hello, John Wooden. Some other things that you're going to want to be thinking about your sophomore year. You might have, sophomore tends to be a busy year, but there is probably room for some other things as well. World languages. These are 2 trimester classes. We offer ASL, American Sign Language, French, Spanish, and Spanish for native Spanish speakers. And then, as I said, our VPA classes. These are 1, 2, or 3 trimester classes. They include like art, ceramics, all the things listed there, and more, which are in your course catalog. And the CTE classes, lots of options there: engineering and design, computer science. You could take foods, information technology, and others. Again, check your course catalog. And some other things to consider as you're looking through any free time you have for electives: human performance, leadership, yearbook. Lots of stuff available. Please go through the course catalog carefully and prioritize the classes that you'd like to try to fit in. Credit recovery. If your freshman year you didn't do so well in a class, maybe failed it, and need to recover credits for that class, then you should see your counselor about taking academic prep. Academic prep allows you to redo courses online in the same way as summer school. It is sort of like summer school during the year. You are enrolled in a class, although the work itself is online, and that allows you to recover credits for something required, something like, say, English 9A or social science 9A. As you sort of plan towards the future, you're going to want to possibly think about your involvement in our International Baccalaureate program. This is available starting your junior year. And there's different options for you. If you're a full IB diploma student, then you'll take 6 subject courses plus a theory of knowledge course and an extended essay, and do the CAS project, the Creativity Activity Service project. Now, all students at Granada can take 1 or more IB courses, or you could be in the full diploma program. In other words, you can take a part of the program, or you can take the full program. Those are all available to you. IB is recognized worldwide as a very high level university preparation program. We are an IB school. We don't just have IB classes, but really in every class, we strive towards the IB learner profile. And those are the elements of the profile that we work towards in every class at Granada. So during registration, you're going to see an IB interest line. And so while you cannot sign up for IB classes yet, we are interested in sort of helping you maybe plan for the future. And so if you're interested in moving on to IB, maybe even being part of the diploma program, then you're going to want to go ahead and select IB interest in that screen. And I'll show you that as we go through registration. All right, so we're heading towards the meat of this now. I'm going to go ahead and take you through what it looks like to do course registration. And you'll need some things. You'll need your course catalog. You'll need your 4-year plan or course request worksheet. You will need your student ID number. You'll need online access, and you'll need roughly 20 minutes or so. So I'm going to take a few brief moments to review the online registration process. Here we are at the Granada High website, granadahigh.com. And so if you go to resources right here, and then there's online course registration, first link, and click on that. This takes you to what I think is a very helpful page. There are resources on here. For example, there's the online course catalog, 4-year plan worksheet, A through G courses, things like that. There's also, if you want to listen to this presentation over and over again, then you could select that right there and have access to it. But for our purposes, where you're going to want to go is to this PowerSchool parent-student login link. And this takes you to here. So your username is your ID number. For my sample student, it's 94550. But for you, it's going to be your student ID number. And your password is going to be your birthday with the use of zeros in front of any single digit number. So for example, if you were born on March 23rd, 2001, then it would be 0323 2001. All of the passwords will be 8-digit numbers. All right, that takes you to this screen, and on the left, then what you want to do is select class registration. And that takes you to this. You may have seen this before. Our goal on this screen is to take all these red exclamation points and convert them into a row of green check marks. And the way that we do that is by selecting the little pencil icon and entering in the necessary information. So for example, social science. Here are our options for social science sophomore year. Am I going to take AP Euro? If so, do I want that seminar? Am I going to take honors? In my case, I'm going to go ahead and sign up for standard world history 10A and 10B. It says you may select between 2 and 3 courses. You need to make sure to request both A and B of any of these courses. I have selected both, so now I say OK, and my red exclamation mark has turned into a little green check mark. If that's not the case, then something's gone wrong. Onto English. I am going to go ahead and select English 10A and English 10B and hit OK, green check mark. Here's the English language proficiency screen I was telling you about, right? If you earned a D or an F. And I'm going to say I had some issues in English last year. I need some extra help. And so I'm going to go ahead and select English Workshop 10 and hit OK. For math, last year I was able to complete algebra. So I have spoken to my teacher, and I'm going to go ahead and move on to geometry. I'm going to take 3 trimester geometry, though. The pace is better for me. So I'm selecting geometry A and geometry B. Those are the 3 trimester ones. Geom is 2 try. Geometry is 3 try. And because I'm doing 3 try, I need to make sure to go ahead, click on these numbers at the bottom, and find the intro to geometry class. Once I have that, then I hit OK. And there are my 3 classes and my green check mark. All right, let's see where I am with classes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I've taken 8 classes. For science, I did manage to complete biology last year, so I'm going to move on to chemistry. Select chemistry here, and select OK. PE, I need to take both of my PE classes. Hit OK. All right, where am I with classes here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I now have what could be a full schedule, although we do allow 15 classes, so I have some potential options. I'm going to go ahead and get to work on a foreign language. I wasn't able to fit this in last year, but this year I am. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with American Sign Language and hit OK. that puts me up to 14 classes. There's lots of other stuff I'd like to take, but probably won't be able to fit it in this year. Your schedule opens up much more your junior and senior year. Sophomore year is important for kind of clearing out a lot of those requirements. So while I would love to take a VPA class, I don't know that I'm going to be able to fit anything in. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go to the screen that has no choices and select no choices. And there I get my check mark. Same thing for CTE. I'm not going to select everything, but I have to get rid of the red exclamation point. So I'm going to find the screen that includes no choices, and I'm going to select no choices. Now I have my green check mark. PE, oh man, I want to try to fit in human performance, but I just don't think it's going to work for me this year. So I hit no choices. Electives, some great stuff. Women in American history, sports psychology for English and social science, but not going to work for me this year, so I'm going to hit no choices. And other electives, I'd love to be able to do yearbook or if I was involved in leadership, but not going to work for me sophomore year, so no choices. ROP, not really. You have to transport yourself. We do have a couple on site that you could possibly enroll in. Talk to your counselor if you're interested in this, but I'm not going to do that for my schedule for sophomore year. IB program interest for junior year. Kind of depends on how it goes sophomore year, but I would say, yeah, of course I'm interested in the IB diploma program. So I'm going to select that. All right, now I need to count my courses. So let's do this again. Anything that's worth 5 credits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nothing else. Nothing else. All right, so I've selected 14 classes. I'm going to select 14 classes and hit OK. And now I need to plan my schedule. So what that means is we allow up to 15, which means I have an open course somewhere. So what I'm going to do is go here and select where that open period will be. These are my options. I'm going to go ahead and say that I want no period 5 in the spring. Now be aware, this just indicates your preference. It doesn't absolutely guarantee you. For example, if I want to take something like, I don't know, that ASL class and it's only available in period 5 in the spring, then I wouldn't be able to get my no period 5 in the spring off. So this isn't a guarantee, but it does let us know what you want so that we can try to plan sections that way. Hit OK. And now we come to alternates. This is an important screen. Lots of people just blow by it, but please don't, because going back up here, maybe some of these aren't available to me. Maybe I can't get into ASL. Obviously I'm going to get an English class, but for some of the elective type classes, maybe I can't quite get in. And so what I need to do is select 5 alternates. So please be thoughtful about the alternates that you choose. I'm going to say, okay, if I can't get ASL, say I'm going to go for my VPA classes and select some of those. Maybe I'll try Art 1 and Art 2. Yeah, I'll go for. Well, maybe I'll try and fit in maybe I'll try and fit in Auto Tech and a CTE class. So there I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my alternates. Please make sure that your parents know what you're doing, and once they have verified your course requests, go ahead and check that. Now down here requires between 60 and 75 credit hours. I have 70. That is between 60 and 75. Therefore, I'm all done. I have all my green check marks all the way down the line, and so I'm ready to submit, right? Don't just turn off the computer. Make sure to go down here to the bottom right, hit submit, let the computer do its work, and then it will take you to this screen. Once you see this screen, which is a list of all the courses that you have requested, then you are done. Once you see this, those have been submitted, you've met the deadline, you're safe, and it's free. You're free to come up here and select sign out. So again, please make sure to visit that resources page on the GHS website that I was on to watch the tutorial or to get any of the other resources that are available on that page. If you still have questions or need assistance, go to that resources tab, and then counselors will try to meet with everybody. But if you need to seek out help from a counselor, go to the counseling center and work to make an appointment if you need to talk through any of this. Select your courses wisely. Take time to look through the catalog and see what's available. Complete the 4-year plan, because sometimes how you do things your sophomore year will determine how you do things your junior year and how you do things your senior year. So it's good to plan that out and see how you want to get to where you want to get to. Choose wisely. Do you have at least 12 5-unit courses but no more than 15? Do you have 5 alternates? Again, if you need to follow the tutorial again, feel free to do so. Your course selection choices are yours. Know that we build our school schedule off your requests. When you make these requests, we create sections based on those, and so then the schedule is based on those requests. If people try to change things later, that is very, very difficult because the whole schedule has been planned around the requests that were made originally. Any alternates chosen may be filled in your schedule. In fact, I would assume that probably at least one of them will be, so make sure that you choose alternates carefully. And know that both parts of AB courses must be completed. Okay, you can't drop the B portion of a course just because you didn't do well in the A portion. Select your courses carefully and conscientiously. The schedule you get in August will be according to what you select now. We create the schedule based on the requests that people make. And so outside of an error on our part, we're not going to allow schedule changes. Make sure to follow us on the following social media. And I hope that you have a great sophomore year.